What up, world? How you doing? This is the T-Bass and Shamar show. We here today to give you a nice show, man. My man's got his hats out. He's got his jerseys out. We're going to get into some Negro League hats, some vintage hats.
Right.
And I'm going to let you have it, man. You to talk, man, break it down.
So, yeah, but this is really about kind of my interest and my hobby. I got into Negro League baseball, like, back actually in the 80s when it really got popularized. And I got hip to what, Negro League baseball, the Baltimore Black Sox. I was like, wait a minute, hold up, the Baltimore Black Sox. I was probably in college around that time. I hadn't heard of Negro League baseball in high school. I hadn't heard about it in the youth. And so that just sparked my interest. And then I was like, wait a minute, these teams, the Ethiopian Clowns, the Homestead Grays, and that just sparked my interest in like the mid 80s to the late 80s. And I bought some memorabilia back then, and my homeboys, they snaked me for it, they got me for it. It was cool though, because I was like, I'll get back to it. So about around maybe 2001 or whatever, I go to a Giants game, and there's a brother out there selling Negro League baseball gear, and I was like, oh, that's that stuff, And so it kind of got me back into the memorabilia, and so. From there, I just said, I'm going to collect this. I got to get myself some jerseys. I got to get myself some jackets. And, that kind of just was, sparked my interest. So as you go deeper into it, you just learn more and more stuff about just the gear that they wore. A lot of the caps you see right here are representative of caps anywhere from the late 1800s, like 1885 to 1940. And so I just wanted to sit down and talk about it. And I was like, because, I went on YouTube maybe, and I saw a guy, he did a special on just ball caps, because amongst baseball players, this is an interesting topic. It's like a modern cap as opposed to a vintage cap, and then there's different levels on the vintage caps. So what you see out amongst you is the best manufacturers of the old school vintage caps, and there was like three primary companies who really did this thing right. And, the first one was I'll go with Ebbets, because Ebbets Field Flannels, they're still doing the work, and they're definitely a popular. Sorry for the dog noise in the back. Maybe they're not used to us being back here, but anyway, Ebbets Field Flannels, they do the quality work. They do jackets, jerseys. They do the whole shebang. T-shirts, just representing.
Is there a difference in like the material that they use?
Yeah, they use the authentic fabrics. So the front row of caps is Ebbets Field Flannel caps. This is what they wore back in. This is what Satchel Paige played in. This is what Josh Gibson played in. And if you look at the cap, they do more silk. They do silk undervisors, which they probably wasn't wearing silk back then. They were probably just wearing some back or under here, or maybe it was just even a solid back. But yeah, and then they do the cotton linings on the inside. That's probably a modern feature too. They actually wore leather liners back in the days, and I'll show you a couple of caps with leather liners.
So let me see.
Yeah.
So this, I guess, this would be the cotton liner.
That's a cotton sweatband.
Right. And then this would be your.
That's just the undervisor. Now, why green? Because green is like the modern standard for putting a backer on the underside of the cap, because it was said to block out some of the light.
Okay.
Yeah. So like now they're going to black, but some cap collectors, they want the green. They be like, it don't have the green underlining. That's not really as authentic as it should be.
This has got those holes that you was talking about.
Oh yeah, so those are the gosset holes, and they put the holes on the top of the caps to let your head breathe.
Right.
But now they did wear caps that didn't have the gosset holes on the inside of the caps. It was just solid there.
Right.
But they learned over time. This is called piping.
Mm-hmm.
You see these caps have piping. That's just little intricate details that you add to a cap. check out the piping on this Kansas City Monarchs cap. So what do you have here? You have a flannel cap. You have felt lettering as opposed to embroidery. Nowadays we primarily see embroidery. These fibers were probably heavier.
Right.
Probably heavier. They sweated a lot in this stuff. But I've heard also that this stuff also absorbed. It also was cool. It could be cooling too because different fabrics do different things. So yeah, it's a great Monarchs cap here. Cuban X Giants. The Cuban X Giants were one of the first Negro League teams to form professionally. They're extremely significant in Black baseball history. The Cuban X Giants, that's probably one of their later caps. They probably started off wearing this style cap, which is a pillbox cap. This is originally in probably the late 1890s up until 1910. Guys wore baseball caps that looked like this.
Right.
They didn't wear the modern. This is a more modern cap. This is probably like a 1930 cap.
Right.
So the Cuban X Giants, they were wearing this style cap with nothing on it but just the band, right. or maybe it was just plain. It's whatever they could afford. And so yeah, that's kind of the history of it. I'm a pillbox fan myself.
Right.
I got this thing I call the pillbox posse, where we just wear pillboxes.
Now, the Cuban X Giants, were they named after people from Cuba or the teams in Cuba?
So back then, and the Cuban X Giants, I believe, were in probably like upstate New York. They were in upstate New York. So we're talking about East Coast baseball, right?
Right.
We're talking about 1888, 1889. They actually start playing as entertainment for hotels.
Right.
So they started as entertainment for hotels. But they called themselves the Cuban, like a lot of teams back then, they called themselves Giants. You had a lot of teams called their Giants. So Cuban X Giants, to make yourself big, to make yourself large.
But why Cuban?
Because back then, you also had a lot of island people, and you also had Africans and Black people also not trying to be Black and trying to pose as Cubans. Because guess what? In the major league,
because a lot of cats was going to Cuba to play.
They was going to Cuba to play.
Right.
They was going to Cuba to play.
I would imagine that back then, there was a little bit more acceptance of Black men or Black people coming over to Cuba because it was a lot of Black Cubans. I know it was racist over there still, but I would imagine that
it was better. It
was better.
It was better. We were treated Black men from here were treated from what we would call today African Americans, right? Guys like Sancho Page, guys like Josh Gibson, they were sought after.
Right.
They were sought after. They told those guys, no, if you come over here and play, we'll pay you X amount of dollars.
Right.
And guess what? When they got there, they talked about their experience. They talked about they didn't deal with some of the racism that they dealt with in the States.
They felt like Cubans.
And I don't know if they necessarily felt like Cubans.
What I mean by that, they didn't make you feel like you was a stranger. They
embraced you.
They embraced you. They allowed you to feel like family. So you, in turn, you for a week or 2 weeks or a summer or however long you went, you felt like Cuban.
Now I haven't done the research on why the Cuban X Giants actually called themselves Cubans, because I could tell you that. So let's go to another team that called themselves Cuban, the New York Cubans. So the New York Cubans, this is probably like 1920 baseball, 1930 baseball. They were definitely using that Cuban moniker because they was trying to not identify themselves as Black, right? But then again, let's talk about it too. We're talking about New York. So we're talking about a Cuban, we're talking about Dominicans, we're talking about Puerto Ricans, we're talking about Cubans, we're talking about Caribbean people, Latin-speaking Caribbean people, all along with Black, what they call us Blacks, all intermingling and playing together.
And you look at some of those pictures, some of those cats look Dominican, some of those cats look Cuban.
Definitely.
So I'm thinking
you can definitely see the Latin influence.
Big time. Some of those. So you see some of those pictures of some of those teams. I'll be like, man, this cat was kind of bright skinned. He looked like he might have had a white daddy, white mama, This cat
Latino.
This cat over here, he a little dark, but he kind of got that Dominican influence.
Right.
You know, and that's what I would always notice.
Right.
When I would look at the pictures. And to me it seems that New York being so close to the islands,
100.
That not only when we went over there, but in turn when they came over here, we was like fam.
Right.
You know?
So that's just some. The history is so massive and so vast that dude, like you can just get caught up in it. You do all this reading just on, and it's some of the most unique history in baseball. It's like what? So back to the hats. What makes these caps special? The fabrics, the authenticity of them. What differentiates a modern style cap from a pillbox style cap? This cap over here, this was a minor league team called the Phoenix Giants. I collect the pillbox caps, so whenever I see a pillbox cap that I like, I just bring it into the collection, and I love that just because it was just unique. I was like, okay, this is dope.
I like that orange one over there.
That's the Phoenix Giants.
Man.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
That one's nice.
It's nice. It's very nice. More modern fabrics.
I was going to say it got a modern feel to it.
More modern fabrics than the authentic Milwaukee Brewers. This is an old school Milwaukee Brewers ball cap. Probably it's got to be 1900, like early 1900s. This is a minor league team. They were actually They were an affiliate of the San Francisco Giants. That hence the orange color. It's probably their minor league team in Phoenix. So and the orange and black, and then the P is Phoenix. But so that's kind of the differentiation on some of the shaping of the caps. Early baseball, when baseball is first forming and they're first starting to play it, and it's kind of a hometown thing and kind of a family thing. You got this movement going on right now called vintage baseball, and they actually these players come out in the original gear, so they're wearing pillbox hats. They're not wearing gloves, because back in the days when baseball first started, you didn't wear a modern glove on your hand. You wore just maybe you actually just caught with your hands, or you wore a glove over your hand to catch the ball. That's early baseball,
so got like almost a regular glove, maybe just a little thicker, like a leather glove.
It's a leather glove, right? Basically like a leather glove. You may have some padding in the palm,
right?
And it literally formed to your hand. There was no webbing on it where it extended out or none of that stuff. So that's early baseball. But I got this beautiful collection, man. So the major manufacturers of the authentic stuff, the creme de la creme, Ebbetsville Flannels, definitely. Cooperstown Ball Cap Company. Now, I like Cooperstown Ball Cap Company because to me, Cooperstown Ball Cap Company is a little more authentic. Like, this is probably what a cap looked like in 1935. Ebbets stuff is a lot more polished. You could tell with the machines and the mechanization and stuff like that. It's very clean. It's still awesome. It's still beautiful. It's dope. But I'm gonna go just grab here. I'll pick up this Pittsburgh Crawfords. So this is the Pittsburgh Crawfords. I think this is the information is actually in the cap. Interestingly, the Cooperstown Ball Cap Company went out of business about, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago or whatever. So you can't get this stuff anymore, man. It's not being manufactured. But the information is in this cap. This is the 1936 Pittsburgh Crawfords cap, done by the Cooperstown Ball Cap Company. Now, the interesting thing about Cooperstown is they did it all authentic. They kept the leather inside. The leather lining.
What was the difference between the leather lining and, say, the other lining?
Well, you know what? They started out. Baseball evolved, right? So they first started out and they probably was using leather lining.
Is the leather making more sweat more, you think?
So what's more efficient? What's better? Well, the leather definitely looks better. It's definitely just makes it look more high end, right?
Right.
I've worn the leather caps. The leather is okay, but I don't think they absorb as good as the cotton.
Right. Because what I'm imagining is with the leather, the sweat will bead down And with the cotton, it absorb into
the cotton.
Right.
But now let's check it out. Okay, so let's look at the cap that I'm wearing. This is American Needle. This is a cap that American Needle did back in the day. It's probably like their 90 run. But as you can see, the inside of this cap, I got all my sweat in there. You know, it's worn. That's cool because it's my sweat. But nobody else wants to wear it. Nobody else wants to wear it on. But when the leather, when you sweat in it, it absorbed differently. Right. And it was like you didn't see the sweat as much.
Right.
You know, this was probably a more durable cap. You know, like literally, I've seen them where they're falling apart, but they still look great. So yeah, so cotton as opposed to leather, what's better? I think it's a preference issue.
Right.
You know, it's really just a preference issue, man. Like if you want to go authentic, you want the leather lining.
Right.
This is what a cap looked like that Satchel Paige wore, or you know, some of the early guys. Yeah. Yeah. Check out the different leathers.
That's it.
So this is the darker leather, right? That's almost like a black leather. This is a lighter leather, but that leather look good, don't it? When you get ready. Oh, try to put that on. That's a size medium. That may fit your head. I don't know your head size.
What size is it?
That's a Cuban. It's a medium, but you got a medium head. Yeah. How it feel?
Perfect.
How that leather feel?
Cold, but yeah, it feel.
As opposed to a modern cap that you put on.
Upon putting it on, it has a colder feel.
Yeah.
A little bit more. I don't know how to explain it. Like
how it hugs your head.
Yeah, it's kind of a little stickier. Whereas the other, like when you put on cloth, it doesn't have like a sticky.
Yeah.
Doesn't stick to your forehead.
Right.
So it has that feel to it. Just cold and sticky.
Yeah.
You know, and it don't look worn or anything like that.
No. But yeah,
that's
in
cool and sticky.
Yeah.
And I don't mean sticky like it got sugar or something.
Right. No, I know what you mean. It just hugs your head a little bit more.
So if I started sweating, it would literally just like hug my head.
Right. I've seen some with the leather inside, but the leather is hard. I think Ebbets actually, when they first start putting the leather inside,
and also
this is a high quality. It's a high
soft leather.
That's some soft,
very
leather.
Soft.
So I've seen the ones with the hard leather in them, right? And that's what also makes Cooperstown. They always use the high quality leather, very soft leather, so it feels good. I've actually worn the cap with the harder leather, and it's uncomfortable. You know,
wow.
But all of that stuff, it's all evolved, you know. But yeah, man. So that's a little. Oh, there's one more thing I want to talk about: a 6-panel cap as opposed to an 8-panel cap. Where's the 8-panel? This is an 8-panel cap. There's 8 panels to this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Right.
As opposed to a 6-panel cap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Right.
A 8-panel cap typically sits lower on your head. It's just more form-fitting. They're sought after, dude. Guys, like collectors, guys who are in the caps, if I can get an 8, they're big in Japan too. 8-panel caps are big in Japan too. If you want, so you know that's another thing. Also, something with a cap. I never knew this until I actually started talking to guys who were really into like the gear and stuff like that. The sewing on the cap. How many? This cap is sewn down here. A professional baseball cap usually has 8 or 9 being sewn down. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a professional ball cap. It's sewn down around 8 times.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, you like, this is just stuff that you learn.
Yeah.
Here, let's count this 8-panel. So this is the 8-panel. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's sewn down 8. That's the standard.
Right.
You know, now you see a cap and it's got 4. I mean, it still works, but you know, it's like, but that's not professional grade.
Right.
You know, so
I never paid attention to that part.
most people don't. Most people don't care. They say, I see this hat, I like this hat, I put it on, and who cares about it, right?
Because I'm trying to figure if the new modern caps even have.
Yes.
Are they stitched like that?
Yes.
I never paid no attention.
If you pick up a new era cap, if you pick up a new era cap is probably going to have 8 stitches down. You know, that's the professional standard.
Wow.
Yeah. So vintage caps, pillbox caps, modern caps.
Right.
This is a cold piece right here. This is the Santurce Congrejeros, the Crabbers. This is Puerto Rican League. 80 years. This is the 80-year cap. Santurce on the back. That's the Santurce jersey that Roberto Clemente played for the Crabbers. You got to be careful wearing this cap in LA.
Yeah,
because it's got
that joints is dope.
But it's but it's hard though.
Ooh, that joints.
I mean, nice. you got the 2 crabs up there. You know,
is that embroidered?
Yeah, this is embroidery.
Yeah, that's I like the embroidered ones.
The embroidery. I mean, like embroidery. But that's the modern thing, right? We don't. This is the old style with the with the felt and that stuff is cool. But then you got the embroidery. So you got 3D embroidery. The embroidery is raised.
That's
right
there.
And so I was like, no, I got to get that Congrejeros. I got to get that Congrejeros. The 80th, you got the 80th anniversary on there. It's a nice piece, man. Definitely. You know.
See, I would like to see a pill.
Yeah, the pill box
in this.
Right.
In this style.
So you know,
that shape in this style, I should say.
No, they have it. So there's 2 different kinds of pillbox caps. They call them pillbox caps, which is what you see here. But then the pillbox cap it's called a box cap, and it's boxy in structure. It has no give to it. So it doesn't fall in like these have a lot of like give to them. But the box cap looks like almost like a bellboy's cap. Remember, like you go to a hotel and they got those caps on. And
I don't know if I would like that. I gotta see it.
No. You wouldn't necessarily want the box cap because the box cap is boxy. It's nut structure. But you know the pill box. But they got them in that style.
Yeah,
too.
I would like to see that shape right there.
Here, let's take it.
This style.
Let's do this. Here, let's sit this down. Let me put on the pill box. Let me put on the pill box, bro. Pill box posse. Only a few of us is rocking this player. So. Yeah, so that's
actually I do like that. That's not bad.
Oh no, it's cold, man. Yeah.
I like those.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. The old school who popularized it though, who blew it up and brought it back, the Pittsburgh Pirates. When the Pittsburgh Pirates was and you know that black cap with that orange with that gold P and that gold stitching. You know, I don't wear the Pirates stuff because I'm not a Pirates fan, but I can definitely appreciate it. Actually, I bumped into a brother one time. I was in Leimert Park. He had on the vintage Pirates. He had on the gold one made out of like this material. And it had the stitching on it in the P. It was so clean. I was like, bro, where did you get that classic Pirates hat? He was like, oh man, I came up on that, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, oh, that thing is hard. I was like, man, you got the vintage Pittsburgh Pirates joint on. No, I like it though, bro. The pill boxes. It's different, dude. You know. So that's about it. I mean, you know, I don't know. That's my spiel, man. That's my spiel.
Hey, everybody, that right there is some good stuff.
Yeah.
That right there is some good stuff.
Yeah.
What more can we say than thank you?
Yeah.
Thank you, because it's not often that we get to see old school vintage caps.
Thank you for giving me a platform. Thank you for giving me a platform to talk about it, bro. This is my hobby. This is my craft. You know, I don't have a ton of jerseys. I just added this jersey. I'm wearing the Pittsburgh Crawford jersey. This is actually number 3 on back, Josh Gibson. So this is what Josh Gibson wore back in the days. Raised collar with the sun collar.
In case some of you don't know, Josh Gibson was one of the best baseball players ever. I said it.
The black Babe Ruth
baseball players ever to lace the shoes up.
Right.
Ever to tie them shoestrings up on their cleats.
Yeah.
Josh Gibson.
Yeah, the home run hitter, dude.
Oh man, wasn't he a catcher too?
He was young. Yeah, he was young.
That guy was nice.
He was, yeah. Josh, I think Josh Gibson passed away in his 30s, bro. Like he died young.
That's
You
sad.
know, yeah, he died. Yeah, he had some issues though. Just dealing with alcoholism and some other issues. But as far as his playing, but he got started at 16, dude. That's back in the days when you was an athlete. You started early. Like we talk about LeBron James, right? They was like, who is this phenom? Yada yada yada. But that's how cats were back then.
Yeah.
Man child.
Because that's when you're in your best shape. When you're
Right.
19, 20, 21,
Right.
body in peak condition. Just before we're not gonna close it out just yet.
Yeah.
We do have one thing to talk about. One thing.
Here we go.
Yes, here we go.
Here we go.
And just in case Miguel and Henry watch the show.
Right, he's putting the word.
I haven't said it, but I have to say it on this platform. This is our podcast, so I got to say what I want to say.
Right, say what you want to say.
Y'all got y'all ass whipped like a spoiled child that never got their ass whipped before, and all the grown-ups sat and watched and said, "Woo, whoop his ass."
He's full of himself right now.
Oh, I'm not full of myself
because the Eagles just won, and we're gonna let you say that.
No, we ain't letting nothing. I'm saying it. They got their ass whipped. They got zipped up. Yeah, there we go. I had to get that out. Philadelphia was the one on top. Everybody, we did our Super Bowl predictions and who would go.
Right.
And we really got it right for the most part that Philly and KC would be.
I thought it would have been closer.
I thought it was going to be Philly and the Bills, but you guys.
But let's just talk about that. Those are the early predictions, but I thought it would have been a better game, bro.
I was thinking,
hats off to the Eagles, but I thought Kansas City would have given them a little more run for their money.
I was thinking it was going to be a closer game, but I knew if Philadelphia could get to the quarterback, it was going to be a long game.
And you said that. And every time they hit him, you was like, hit him again.
I said every time, because that's something they ain't used to. The whole team ain't used to that. Right. Their whole team was in shock that he was getting hit that much.
That pass rush was intense, bro. And he kept trying to do that circle around little move, but he kept circling into trouble. And that was the thing.
I think also
what
people don't know or don't realize is with those rookies at corner, them two don't let nobody catch the ball. They didn't let no touch them. Them two didn't let but like one or two touchdowns on the whole year.
Here's the thing, and that's what we wanted to see is when Kansas City came up against a real team that could match them. How would they fare? Because they squeaked out a bunch of wins and stuff like that. They should have actually probably had a few more losses than they had, but they squeaked some stuff out. But yeah, somebody who showed up who ain't really scared of you. They're not really scared of you. And then y'all had a chip on your shoulder anyway.
Right.
You had a chip on your shoulder.
No, this is some get back.
Right, this is some get back. This is some get back.
Y'all, and you can feel the personal.
Right.
It was personal.
It was personal, bro. Yeah. Definitely that. And then also, Jalen Hurts, people still not giving Jalen Hurts his props.
That don't make no sense.
Bro. But you had the whole package, dude. I mean,
that don't make no sense. Well, I don't see why Jalen Hurts can't get his respect. This is what I said. In my opinion, and I've been hearing this offseason, Philadelphia may go for Max Crosby.
Here you go.
Philadelphia may go for Max Crosby. Philadelphia may go for Miles.
You're not getting Max. Max already made it clear that he wants to be a Raider. And as long as the
Philadelphia might make that pitch.
But here's the thing about y'all ain't making no pitch, because here's the one thing about Philadelphia that I will say is that you're going to have to spend big money and give up a lot to get Max Crosby. And you guys typically don't do that.
No, they do. That's
you're not going after
Howie Roseman is known because that's how they got AJ Brown. They give away 2 first-round picks.
Anything could happen. I would never say that it could happen.
Hey, when they got AJ Brown, the world was like, "What the hell?"
It probably makes more sense that you guys would probably pursue Myles Garrett, than than Max Crosby. But I mean,
Max Crosby
you may
would be
go.
cheaper.
That's true. That's true.
And you got cats like Long that used to play over there. Not Howie, but his son. Was it Chris? Was his name? One of them Longs played over there. So
I would never say. Listen.
Turn some ears, man.
I would
want to come win a Super Bowl. Come over here.
I would never say never. I would never say never because you never know. But Max has made it clear. He's like, I'm tired of people asking. He said he's just clear. But he says like, as long as the Raiders have a plan in place, and I feel like they're moving forward, I'm a Raider. That's just who he is. Now that may change in 2 seasons. That may change, but I think right now
that's Max.
Right.
I don't care. Okay, great. I'm glad you feel that way, Max.
Right.
That's fine. But if management says, you know what, we'll take 2. If you got 2 first-round picks, we'll take those for Max.
Why would we give up 2 first-round picks for Max Crosby, a bona fide Hall of Famer, on two supposed first round?
I don't know. Ask Luka Doncic.
Listen, and you see what their fan base is.
Hey, ask AJ Brown.
Right. I mean, it could, like I said, teams do it. It could happen. I would never say.
I know you don't want to swallow that pill, but Philly is coming, player. They're gonna make the bid.
I mean,
they're gonna make the bid. I'll tell you, they're gonna make the bid.
Like I said, I don't know if the Raiders would do that. That would probably set you back, and you're trying to move forward. That would set your defense back considerably. No, the Raiders. The Raiders. What? The Raiders are like that's a key piece for the Raiders. So. Like I said, any business deal, if you sweeten up the business deal, it can go down, right?
Right.
Like that's business. But like I said, Max has made it clear he wants to be a Raider, and then also management know that they need him to be a Raider. I don't know,
Well, we'll see.
But we'll see.
But
listen, and if he bounce, I ain't mad at Max Crosby because guess what? The same way I wasn't mad at Josh Jacobs when he bounced. Guess what? Josh Jacobs bounced. He made the playoffs this year. He had a great year for Green Bay, and he was frustrated with dealing with being a Raider and dealing with that stuff. So that's really a message to the Raiders. Hey, bro, you got to really try to win, or these guys will go elsewhere. Because at the end of the day, sports is about money, but also sports is about winning and being competitive.
That's what I was listening to somebody talk about that, and they was talking about Myles Garrett and how he played on the team with I think they had a lineman named Joe Thomas, and Joe Thomas, if I'm correct, never went to the playoffs a day in his career.
Right. What does that feel like?
And we're talking about a Hall of Fame offensive lineman, Hall of Fame, someone who never got. You didn't sniff the quarterback.
You didn't even sniff the playoffs. That's horrible.
A playoff game. And Myles Garrett went against this guy for year after year after year.
Right.
And would hear how he would talk about how it hurt his spirit.
Right.
That he couldn't.
Yeah, man.
He hasn't played winning football.
Right.
And so
at the professional level.
Myles Garrett is likely feeling that
he's already said it.
He's already saying to himself, like, you know what? I've had these conversations with these guys. And I don't want to feel like that.
Myles Garrett he's making a boatload of money. He's gonna make a boatload of money when he leaves. But guess what? Nothing's gonna satisfy you like winning.
It ain't about the money right now.
No, it ain't about the money.
Is the reason why I brought that up is because I don't mean to be rude.
No, it's cool. I'm used to you stepping on.
I don't mean to be rude. But your boy Max. He might be tired of losing. If Philly make that phone call, he might have to think about it. He might be like, who did you say called?
Listen.
Did you say Philly called?
Listen, Max Crosby is like the prize honey, bro. Somebody always in our honey's ear.
If Philly, if that's the case, then you might as well call Philadelphia the Mac.
Right, because they macking.
Because they're going to go Mac at your honey, baby.
So, we'll see, man. We'll see. I mean, we need Max Crosby. The Raiders need all the help they can get.
So does Philly. Philly needs Max Crosby too, though.
Man, to make you better. I get that.
Yeah, man. No,
don't look like y'all need no help.
Hey, if Philadelphia gets one more edge rusher like a Max Crosby or a Miles Tuck,
can you leave my girl alone?
They would be the best defense ever.
Listen. There's a great little honey out there named Myles Garrett that you should be trying to get at.
Yeah, but you see, my boys, they don't just look at one honey. They look at a few honeys.
You hey, y'all. Don't talk about it. Be about it.
Don't talk about it. Be about it. Holla, y'all.